Well, good afternoon folks, and welcome to another review video. This is Lee, your virtual airline pilot, with you again. Welcome back to the channel and to another video here. We are looking at a freeware product for a change today. I've been asked to review this by one of the viewers, and I know it's hugely popular, over 47,000 downloads. We are looking at Kuwait Airport and City. The Kuwait Airport, Oscar Kilo Bravo Kilo. This is a freeware product. It's in version 7 at the moment, I believe. The user designer, who is known as YAG, Yankee Alpha Golf, has been working on this and updated it a couple of times to the version that we've got now. And as far as I understand it, this version is for the PC version of Flight Simulator 2020. The download comes in at 180 meg. That's one zip file, 180 meg, and it installs 2 subfolders totaling about 1.8 gigabytes. Now the reason for the 2 folders, one contains the airport and the scenery, and the other is an additional set of files that removes the need for you to have the Asobo Zurich scenery enabled in order for the jetways to work. More on that in a minute when we talk about jetways. So 2 folders installed to about 1.8 gig. This is available free on the flightsim.to website. So here we're going to test the jetways. Now, up until now, according to the developer, you needed to have Asobo's own Zurich airport scenery enabled. In other words, installed and working in the simulation for the jetways to work properly. Now, with the addition of this new file, you bear in mind that the installation had 2 subfolders. One contains the airport and the city. The second one, kdo_1t, contains files which basically now mean that you don't actually have to have that Zurich scenery enabled. So if you wish to disable it for various reasons, you can do. So now we're going to test the jetway to see if it works. We've got the default Asobo Airbus A320 parked on stand Tango 5, and we've got the Asobo Zurich file disabled in the simulator, and we have the Kuwait scenery installed as per the instructions from the developer. And what we're going to do now is we're just going to test the jetway to see if it actually connects. So here we go. So as you can see, everything's looking good. The jetway looks fine actually, it's beautifully done. And let's see what happens. There we go, the door opens. And that actually positions up to the aircraft quite well. Okay, it's gone slightly through the skin, but that's not a huge problem. So let's do a disconnect now and just check that that all works. And there you go, it's disconnecting and moving away quite nicely. So there you go, that all works perfectly okay. I will also tell you that I've done this with the Asobo Zurich scenery enabled as well, with this scenery installed as per, and that works exactly the same too. So if you needed to have Asobo Zurich enabled for other jetways and other sceneries, there's been some talk on the on flightsim.to about problems with Latin VFR jetways and 1 or 2 others. So if you need that installed, then you can have that. To be honest, what I tend to do myself is try to keep my community folder relatively short and not filled up with lots of scenery. So basically, if I'm not going to use a scenery, then I will remove that from the community folder and install or concentrate on the scenery I want to use at the time. So that could save you a bunch of problems. Basically, if you've got like FS Dream Team or LATAM VFR sceneries installed that require a normal setup, then just simply remove the Kuwait from your community folder and then put it back there when you next use it. That's essentially what I do. So there you go, the jetways work. And the described method in the from the developer also works. And just as a matter of convenience, if you forget to disable the Asobo Zurich scenery, they still work. so everything is fine. So as ever, let's talk some history. Kuwait International Airport, Oscar Kilo Bravo Kilo, is an international public military airport located in the Freeware Governorate of Kuwait. It's 9.5 miles or 15.5 kilometers south of the center of Kuwait City. The airport is spread over a vast area of some 14.6 square miles, 37 square kilometers, and serves as the primary hub for Kuwait Airways and Jazeera Airways. The field elevation is 204 feet or 63 meters. A portion of the airport complex is designated as Abdullah Al Mubarak Air Base, which contains the headquarters of the Kuwait Air Force as well as the Kuwait Air Force Museum. The airport is owned and operated by the Directorate General of Civil Aviation in Kuwait. So the airport was first operating in 1928. It was originally envisaged as a stop for British planes on their way to what was the British Overseas Territory of India. The current main airport was designed by Kenzo Tanguy and opened in 1979. Was built and completed by Al Hani Construction in a joint venture with the Dutch company Ballast Nedam Netherlands. In February 1991, during the final days of the Gulf War and the battle for the liberation of Kuwait, the airport became the scene of a huge tank battle between Iraqi forces and elements of the US Army Special Forces. The airport underwent a large renovation and expansion project from 1999 to 2001, in which the former parking lot was cleared and a terminal expansion was built. This incorporated new check-in areas, a new entrance to the airport, construction of a multi-storey parking structure and an airport mall. Kuwait International Airport can currently handle more than 13 million passengers a year. A new general aviation terminal was completed in 2008 and is operated by Royal Aviation. By the end of 2008, however, this airport was modified with the construction of a small building named the Sheikh Saad General Aviation Terminal to handle the scheduled services of Wataniya Airways, along with general aviation traffic. In December 2012, the Kuwaiti Ministry of Public Works announced that the new terminal at the Kuwait International Airport would be completed by the end of 2016, estimating the cost to be around 900 million Kuwaiti dinar, or approximately 3.2 billion US dollars. In May 2018, Jazeera Airways launched its own dedicated terminal at Kuwait International to be called Terminal 5. It is located directly adjacent to and connected to the existing main building and features dedicated arrival-departure areas, customs and all other supporting functions in order to alleviate congestion at the main building. All Jazeera arrivals will arrive at the new terminal from opening, while departing flights will transition from the current terminal between May 2022 and 2027. By May 2027, all departing and arriving Al Jazeera flights will be handled exclusively at Terminal 5. In August 2018, Terminal 4 was inaugurated to cater to all flights operated by Kuwait's national carrier, Kuwait Airways. Terminal 4 can handle 4.5 million passengers annually and it eases congestion at Terminal 1. There are 2,450 additional car parking spaces in a dedicated surface lot adjacent to the terminal and connected to the terminal by a bridge. Over 42 airlines operate into and out of this airport, and passenger figures for 2019 were over 15.5 million. However, from March to August 2020, all commercial flights at Kuwait International were suspended as a result of the COVID-19 pandemic. So quite a bit of history and stuff behind this airport. It's quite a massive undertaking for any developer to do any work on. But let's get down now and have a look at runways. So I've dropped the lighting down to about 6:30 in the evening so we can have a look at the runway approach lighting and the condition of the runway generally itself. Kuwait International Airport operates two runways. Runway 33 left 15 right is 11,155 feet long or 3,400 meters and is made from concrete. Runway 33 right 15 left is the longer of the two measuring 11,483 feet or 3,500 meters, and is made from asphalt. The airport lies at an elevation of 206 feet or 63 meters. Runway 33 left, and we're looking down the throat of that now, has an instrument landing system certified up to Category 2 landings, and also features approach lighting system with sequent flashing lights and precision approach path indicators on both sides of the runway. This runway also has runway end identifier lighting, and additionally RNP and VOR approach options are available in addition to the ILS. And this is the preferred departure runway when there are northerly operations are in use, when the wind's coming from the north. Now, as you can see here in the scenery, everything is correct except we don't have the flashing sequence lights. All 4 runway ends, I should mention, according to the charts, are equipped with the sequence flashing lights, but here you can see we don't have them. But everything else is there. So runway 33 right, and we're looking down that now, has exactly the same features as runway 33 left, and also has a Category 2 certified instrument landing system. Again, additional RMP approach options are available for this runway. And this runway is the preferred arrival runway when northerly operations are in use. So when the wind's coming from the north, you take off on the left and you land on the right. That's the way it works. So runway 15 left, and we're looking down the throat of that runway now, also features an instrument landing system certified for Category 2 landings, and it also has the approach lighting system with sequence flashing lights. Again, this is as per the charts, and precision approach path indicators on both sides of the runway. There's also runway end identifier lighting, and additionally this runway has an RMP approach option available. And this is the preferred departure runway when southerly operations are in use. So as you can see, everything is there except, again, we're missing the approach flashing lights on the approach lighting system, but everything else is there. And when the wind is from the south, this is the runway you use for takeoffs. And lastly, runway 15 right, which we're looking at now, has exactly the same features as runway 15 left, and is also ILS Category 2 certified. Again, you have RMP approach options available here, and you also have VOR approach options for this runway too. And this is the preferred arrival runway when the southerly operations are in use. So when the wind's from the south, you take off on the left and you land on the right. When the winds are from the north, take off on the left, land on the right, and that's just basically how it all works. So as you can see, this is a huge airport in a huge urban area. Kuwait City is a massive area. So we're going to do this in 2 ways. We're going to have a look at the airport close up using the drone camera in the way that we do, and I'll try to keep it as brief as I can, but we really need to have a look and see what development's been done and just how nicely it looks. And then secondly, we will take the helicopter, depart from the airport and fly out over the city and have a look at the city from the air at low level, so you can get an idea of what's been done in terms of the scenery. So there you go, freeware scenery for Kuwait and Kuwait City. Let's get down low, bring it back to daytime and have a look and see what's been done to enhance this product. So just after 12 midday, we're back in the daytime. Let's start with a little tour along the ramp north to south and have a look at what we can see. As you would expect, there's quite a bit of photo scenery around and quite a few default buildings. However, little touches here and there, you can see the airport actually is really quite nicely modelled. All the taxiway signs are there. Everything looks okay. Again, as you can see, some photo scenery, but generally this airport looks great. All the roads and the signage on the ground looks okay, looks fine. Plenty of ground clutter, some signs, some of them are in the wrong place actually, but we'll get to that. A couple of aircraft that have been added, but here you see some little buildings that have been added. Here's the fuel farm, or one of the fuel farms. There's another one further down here. Again, as you can see, some little buildings that have been added. Here's the fuel farm, or one of the fuel farms. There's another one further down here. But a little bit of enhancement here. Let's get down towards the control tower. There's one of the car parks with lots of cars. Again, the car park's been left to default photo scenery. But I can't emphasize enough just how massive a project this would be for any single developer. So you've got to hand it to the guy for what he's done so far. And there's some development there inside the tower. And here you've got the highway that goes out of the airport and some additional aircraft stands, and we're looking at some traffic there. So let's head north on this side of the airport now. Again, you can see you've got some default buildings but some additional structures that have been enhanced. And it looks really quite good. I mean, this is lovely. There's more than enough to attract me to want to fly into this airport. It's really, really quite nice. There's just lots of clutter. There's a couple of military jets, so you've got the airbase here. I would hope that as time goes on, possibly this guy gets some help, or maybe takes on the project of developing it a little bit further to turn these default buildings into something rather more special. But it is a huge project. Can't emphasize that enough. But as you can see, the terrain, the ground scenery, it looks fine. It looks really, really nice. For a freeware scenery, it's not surprising it's been downloaded so many times. And look at the structures here. What a beautiful piece of crafting here. I mean, I haven't gone to town myself to have a real detailed look at all the buildings to know where everything is. But I just really wanted to take a close look and show you, or those of you who haven't downloaded it, just exactly what we've got here. There's a lovely tree-lined avenue there. And you know, just some really nice buildings and structures coming across to the central area now, main terminal area. And as you can see, some development that makes it look really nice. It's done a lovely job. This guy's done a really nice job. And as we've seen, the jetways all work. All really, really nice. So a couple of quick shots around the ramp for you, so you can see. We even got buses there, animated buses, which is nice. And the buildings look fairly straightforward. They're a little bit sort of damp, but you know, they're accurate, and I'm happy to see that this is the kind of level that we've got at the moment. It's perfectly acceptable. A little close-up look at some of the vehicles. There's the bus going down the road. And if you look inside, look, we've got some animated people inside the terminal. That's quite a surprise. I didn't expect that, so well done to the guy for that. In fact, let's pop in and see what we can see, if anything. So as you can see, just looking through the windows, there's internal development, and there's a guy walking along there. Let's see if we can pop inside. And yes, we can. There you are. You can see two of the guys chatting together there. And there we are, looking out onto the jetway and onto the airside ramp. Lovely view out through the windows, just as you'd expect. That, of course, is a photograph in the jetway, but it's high resolution, so it looks good and it looks real. So that's really nice. That's quite impressive. Let's get outside again. So a little run across the stands here at low level, nice and slow, and you can have a look at the sort of clutter and bits and pieces that have been added. You know, I mean, this is nicely developed. I won't presume to know exactly what's been added by the developer and what's default. I sometimes find it very hard to see which is between the two. But to be honest, what you're looking at is excellent. It's just what you need, and it's just what you'd expect to see at an international airport like this. So again, we popped inside and you can see some internal development, which is nice. And there you can see, looking out through the windows, just the perfect view. So more clutter as we pass across. There's a bus park there with buses all parked underneath. As you can imagine, this place gets really, really hot, so I'm not surprised that they have sunshade covering for almost everything. But all nicely done here. Some lovely palm trees and bits and pieces. All looks very nice. Light poles in the right place. And here you can see more buildings, some of them default, some of them have been adjusted and improved, which is very nice to see. And it all looks really, really pleasant. Whole line of trucks there, nicely done. So let's go across to the other side here. We go past the main terminal here on the right and head to the other side. That, I believe, is the multi-storey car park, or part of it. And here you can see we've got a vehicle coming along outside the terminal. Once again, as you can see, lots of photo scenery there, but it does look better the higher up you are. But what's been done has certainly made a massive improvement to the default. Does look nice. It's such a huge airport, it's a massive project for anybody to take on, even a team of people. We recently looked at Beijing, which was done by WF Studios, and that's equally a massive airport with lots of work being done, but then they had a big team, I believe. But this looks really nice. Here again, some lovely modelling. Very, very nice here. And again, a little bit of ramp clutter that you can see there. And as we pan along here, you can see this huge hangar has been quite nicely modelled. Some more buses parked down the side there. And now we come to this building structure here, which has been beautifully done. Looks very real, very regal, this does. And there you can see the inside of it as well. Very, very nice. Some nice modelling. No complaints at all. Looks really, really good. That looks quite impressive, and there's a jetway, or two jetways there if you're parking up here. I think this might be the Royal stand, I'm not sure. But as you can see, there's nice quality modelling here. It all looks really, really lovely. It's very nice. And I love the highway. All very dark. Obviously it's been burnt to a cinder by the weather here. So we're tracking across here back towards the main terminal complex, where we're going to have a look at the landside bit. As you can see, there's quite a bit of attention to detail here. He's done quite a lot of work. Okay, it's modelled on top of photo scenery, but I'm not really complaining about that when you've got such a massive project. There's no doubt about the fact he's seriously improved the default itself. Can't complain about that. Nicely modelled buildings here. It looks great. Looks very nice. More aircraft stands here at the back. Again, lots of clutter. And coming across the other side, more buildings to explore. And the roads are really good. And here we're coming past the Kuwait Airways hangar. And we've got a nice Kuwait Airways, what looks like an Airbus A310, parked outside. So there we are, a high level shot from the airport during the midday. Let's turn the lights down and have a look at this lighting, see how subtle it is, and we'll explore the eastern side of the field to begin with and have a look at these models. So 20 to 7 in the evening, as you can see the sun has dipped below the horizon. We've got the sunset out there and you can see Kuwait City to the right hand side. Let's go down a little bit lower and start tracking along and see what we've got. So as you can see, some nice subtle downlighting on the buildings there, which looks really good. And here we get a chance to see the green centerline taxiway lights and the signs on the sides of the taxiways, which look good. Again, you've got the blue airfield edge lights. Let's just stop for a minute and have a look at these fighter models. And there you go, 3 interceptor jets from the Kuwait Military Air Force. And don't they look good? They look very, very nice. Very crisp and clear, beautifully textured, sitting on the tarmac. The wheels aren't sunk in, and it looks great. And it's nice to have that hangar in the background. So let's continue our tour. Let's just move a little bit over some of these buildings and vehicles, just so we can get an idea of what the lighting is like. And it looks nice. It looks very subtle, very nice. Again, plenty of blue airfield edge lights, green centerline lights, taxiway signs. Shouldn't have a problem taxiing around this airport and finding your way. Looks very nice indeed. And now we're coming to some of these buildings here and some of the ramp clutter. Nice to see some of the vehicles that have got lights on them there. Little bit of subtle lighting on that building there. No Asobo globes in use yet, which is good. So a little pan across here. There you can see that artificial lighting on the building. There's the 310 in the background there. Here's this big hangar, and we're going to come across this rather ornate building to see what it looks like. A couple of buses there. I mean, that looks quite nice, doesn't it? Doesn't it look nice? Beautifully done. And you can see through the glass there too. I like that. It's very nice. And we'll just move back towards the central area very briefly, and you get a good idea of how the lighting has been portrayed here. It's quite subtle and quite nice, and it works. It works overall. It works really well. And to be honest, I'm not having any real frame rate problems. I get the odd stutter here and there, but the scenery hasn't crashed, and it's all looking really good. So just after 10 PM local time, and as you can see the sun's pretty much gone, the lighting has come up significantly. It really does look good. And a couple of shots looking out from the airport over the city so you can see what it looks like at night. As you can see, many of these off-airport stands are all nicely lit up. There's not really going to be any problem really in terms of parking or find your way around. There you got the city in the distance. We'll take off and have a look in a bit. And a little shot there showing you runway 15 left, the threshold approach path, and looking at the lighting on this side of the airport with the city and everything spread away in the distance. It's a huge area, a huge airport, massive undertaking, and it looks really, really good. So a quick low level run over the central area to get towards the stand so we can have a look at the stand lighting. As you can see, it's more than adequate. It looks great. Even when we move away from the stand, you've got the centerline lighting that helps you get where you need to be. So a little tour of just one area of the stands, and you can see what's been done. It's beautifully lit, and the buildings are nicely lit. You can see in through the glass there to see the animated passengers. Stands look good. The clutter looks good. The whole thing looks lovely, and this is duplicated right across the airport here. Very, very nice indeed. Take a quick trip over this building here, and again you can see the same attention to detail and the same beautifully subtle lighting that really works. So let's just move out over the taxiway here, and you can look at the green centerline lighting, which leads you all the way in from the outside, so you're not going to have a huge problem once you land. Nose gear light will take you following the greens and bring you into the terminal. Quick look at some of the signs. So there you've got the signage, which doesn't seem to be a problem at all, to be fair. And another one there showing you the entrance to runway 15 right as we're looking at it from here. So there you are, a quick shot across the airport. I mean, that really looks good. At night time it looks fine, and the taxiways are properly delineated. Not really going to have any problems, I think, getting around here at night. But what we've got is a wonderful airport scenery update that really seriously improves it, and to be honest, I'm not surprised. There have been over 47,000 downloads. It looks great. So you've had a good look around the airport and what's been done and how nice it looks through the daytime and the nighttime hours. Now let's get in the helicopter for the second part of the video, where we'll fly off towards the city in the late afternoon and have a look and see what that looks like, because you've got the city here modelled as well as the airport. So come and join me in the helicopter and let's get going. Okay, so here we are in the helicopter. Let's get airborne and go and have a look at the city. It's late afternoon, getting on for 3 local time. Let's get going. There's a city in the distance. Let's get airborne and let's get going. You get a good example to see some of the airport environment here from the outside. We're going to try and stay at around 500-600 feet. As you can see, it's late afternoon, the sun's going down, and hopefully we'll get to see some nice construction over the city. So here we are approaching the outskirts of the city, only about 70 knots, 800 feet. As you can see, plenty of traffic going on below. Lots of default buildings coming up because, of course, there's this is a massive sort of urban area. So there's part of the city sprawl below us, all looking really quite impressive. Let's get over one of the highways. So I'm just tracking around here, looking to see anything that stands out from the default. Some of these little buildings here, appear to be, I don't know, they appear to be a bit different. I don't know. Let's that certainly looks to be a bit different. You know. Let's have a little swing by over here and see if there's anything that's been done. I love watching the traffic there, the heavy traffic going down the freeway. I mean, it's great, it's wonderful. Okay, I mean, this all looks good. It looks a bit default. Like I said, it's I'm not a real specialist at this. It is really sometimes very hard to tell what is default and what is not, as they were. But suffice it to say, it does look brilliant. It's a great place to go flying. We're coming up to the harbour here, and then I'm going to swing round to the right and head into the city. But as I say, here you can see the roads, traffic going up and down them. All looks pretty realistic, even from what, 900 feet here. In case any of you are wondering, we're using the Fly Inside Bell 47G2 helicopter, the one that was made famous in the TV series MASH. This one has a French registration, and we're flying the latest version 1.8, which actually has a float option, and I'll be doing, assuming I can, probably Friday or maybe at the weekend, I'll be doing a review video where we'll go out to the reef world again in Australia, this time taking the float helicopter to see whether we can land on water and just how effective it is. There's a container ship there. That's pretty massive. Make sure I don't overdo the turns here. But as you can see, it all looks beautiful. It's really, really nicely done. So let's head for the city proper. I'll go back up to about 900 feet so we can just get a really good clearance of these buildings in the ground to have a look at how it looks. So here you can see he's done some development work. See additional buildings not amongst the default, looks great. Those of you who know Kuwait City very well will know what we're looking at. And I'm looking forward to some comments from those people who do know this and tell me what they think. I think it's great. So there you can see some of the landmarks in the city. Again, I don't profess to know entirely what they all are, but they're clearly landmarks that are important, and it's been a nice job done here on just improving the city and sort of bringing it to life, as it were. down a bit and let's fly into the city a bit more. It's really well done. Dropping down and dropping down, just level out a little bit. So very impressive here. Lots of little bits of work done here on the scenery to improve it. A really impressive structure there. As you can see, an awful lot of work has gone into duplicating some buildings and just basically putting them in the right place and just updating this default stuff to make it look visually a lot more pleasing. Really impressive. Very nice indeed. Done a wonderful job on the airport and the city. And just bear in mind, this is all free. This is brilliant. I don't know if any of these rooftops are landable, but as you can see, it's just stunning. Lovely job. Can't see any H's anywhere. Sort of indicating that they might be landable. Just a chance to have a close look at some of these buildings here as the light comes on. Really nice. Just very, very nice indeed. So where to put down? We'll put down over there. And there we are, a little bit of dust of course. So there you go, that is Kuwait City scenery along with Kuwait International Airport. It's a freeware scenery version by user YAG, Yankee Alpha Golf version 7, currently available for the PC for Flight Simulator 2020. Downloads 180 meg in one zip file, installs to about 1.8 gig in 2 subfolders. Remember to install the 2 subfolders, and you can either disable the Asobo Zurich scenery or not. I found, as you've seen in the bit of video, that the jetways work either way. So this is Lee winding up another review. I hope it's been useful. Congratulations to the developer. He's done a superb job on what is potentially a massive project. It's really nice. So thank you for joining me in the review. Hope you found it useful. I'm happy to hear any comments in the comments section below. I hope to get a video out before the weekend where I'll be taking the float version of this helicopter out to Reef World off the coast of Australia, about 40-minute flight from Hamilton Island, where we will see how the helicopter performs on the water and have a look at Reef World, and there's a little additional freeware bit that goes with it that adds a bit more to that scenery. So join me for that if you can, and thanks for watching. My name's Lee. I'll see you in the next video. Bye for now.